Good morning. Don't just check the box as Thanksgiving. Be thankful, dang it. Welcome back to Sunday Morning Coffee. I got my coffee here. Got a wonderful Colorado cup. Back before they screwed up all the Starbucks cups. But anyway, that's another video for another day. I appreciate you being here. Happy Thanksgiving. But I just wanted to talk today about being intentionally thankful, how to actively be thankful so that you don't just throw up a post and on Facebook saying, "Oh, I'm so thankful," and then go have dinner somewhere. But that's a bit of a pessimistic view. But anyway, gets the point across. We got to be thankful actively and show our thanks, give our thanks to the Lord. But we're going to start with 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 16 to 18, which reads, "Make sure that nobody pays back wrong for wrong, but always strive to do what is good for each other and for everyone else. Rejoice always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." That's wonderful, right? It says, give thanks in all circumstances, rejoice always, pray continually, and always strive to do what is good for each other and for everyone else. And that's really the core message of this video, summed up into a couple of sentences. The biggest thing that we have to fight is our negativity bias. And I've probably talked about it on the channel before, but it's a huge factor in our daily thoughts and actions, just because, when we were cave people, you were always looking for the tiger or whatever come at you. So your brain is hardwired to look for negativity to protect you, to save you from the wrath of nature and human nature as well. A lot of scary things in the world, but if you just live in your negativity bias, you will be miserable. So we have to be active in being thankful, looking for the good stuff that's happened in our lives, and to pay it forward, show our thanks to people we're thankful for, and to take it to God too. But the first little thing here is our first way to be thankful is to find the wins in life. You have to actively every day find the good stuff. I was a master resilience trainer in the Army. They always called this hunt the good stuff. I'm calling it find the wins, just to be a little different. but at the end of the day, if you're a regular prayer, which I encourage you to do, this is a great time to do it. Sit down and identify 3 wins that you got that day, today. It doesn't matter how big or small they are. I guarantee you there have been at least 3 good things that happened to you in a single day. It may be as small as, hey, I got up on time. My alarm didn't, I didn't hit snooze 5 different times. It could be, I got all green lights on the way to work. But it could be, every now and then there are things that are as big as, I got a raise at work. I just got a new job today. There's big things too. But there's nothing too small to be thankful for. And then once you have those 3 good things, write out why it was good. How does it impact your life? Like, for example, if getting up on time, something as small as that, it impacts my life because it's important to me that I'm on time for work. I like to be punctual. That's what I bring as an employee or whatever. That's or part of what I bring. It can't be the only thing, but anyway, it's important to me that I'm on time, that I don't waste my time or other people's time. So that's how something that small can impact your life. And then do that for each three things, and then finally think about how you can produce more of that win the next day. So, for example, for that one as well, getting up on time. Maybe you're particularly vulnerable to hitting that snooze button. You could set another alarm 5 minutes earlier, just to be sure. But it's also, it's a choice. No matter how hard it may be, it's a choice. Just make sure you get up. If you want to make sure you don't have any traffic issues, leave 5 minutes early. If a certain day of the week is usually more busier than usual, make sure you backwards plan. But our verse for this one is Lamentations chapter 3, verses 22 to 23, which reads, "Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness." I was talking about how the Lord's love is new every morning, and kind of just speaks to the fact that, there's good things every day. Find the good stuff, hunt the good stuff, find the wins, celebrate those wins, and be thankful for them. And find ways to produce more of those good things, and also take a moment to truly understand how their meaning in your life. And then the next thing is find the people making a difference in your life. One of the greatest friendship stories that's in the Bible, we just learned about it in a Bible study I'm doing with my fiance, is the story of Ruth, how she clung to her mother-in-law after her husband and her brother-in-law, so Naomi's two sons, died. And I believe her name's Orpah. Naomi's other daughter-in-law just went back to her people, seemingly her godless people. But Ruth clung to her, went back to her home, and made sure to provide for herself and also for Naomi. And it's a great story about how people can impact your life. Find your Ruth. Whether it's your mother, just a friend, a lifelong friend you grew up with, find people who have made a meaningful impact on you, and make sure you show that you acknowledge that. And we'll get into that on the next thing about showing your thanks. But take a minute and actively look for somebody who's made a difference. Sorry, lost my train of thought. But so, find the wins, find the three good things that have happened today, and then also take a minute to take down a couple people who've done a lot for you. And our verse here is back in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 11, which reads, "Therefore encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing." So it's talking about encouraging one another. And that's kind of how I relate, find the people who have made a difference, and then encourage them back. If they've encouraged you, reciprocate, do the same thing. And then getting into showing your thanks. There's a couple of different ways you can do that. First is you can just tell them, give them a phone call today. Tell them you love them and that you're thankful for them, and that you see the impact that they've made on your life, and make sure they know that. Write them a letter. It's old fashioned, but it's an oldie but a goodie, they say. Getting a piece of mail, seeing someone who took the time to write down their feelings and thankfulness is, it just can make you feel good. Makes you feel good. If you can do it in person, do that too. Don't just sit and wait for any of these things to happen. Just pick up the phone, pick up the pen, get in your car, go find them. If you're going out to see somebody or for a gathering today, make sure to let them know. Actually tell them. Be like, hey, you did this for me. I just want you to know I so appreciate it. Another way to do it is gifts. You can give, I'm not saying you need to give everybody a new TV or something, but, if there's like a specific devotional you think they'd like, get it for them or something. If you know they love eating out at a certain spot, get them a $10 gift card or something. Just make sure it's something you think they would enjoy. You don't want to be that gift giver who just thinks, "Oh, I like this stuff, so this is what I'm going to give." That's how you get people re-gifting stuff that they didn't want in the first place. It wasn't truly a gift to them. But yeah, make sure you do that. And then also experiences. Take someone out to eat. Spend time with them. We assign value to what we give our time to. So, if you find somebody who's made a huge impact on your life, who has been present in your life, devoted their own time to investing in you, try to do the same back to them. I'm not saying like, oh, you mentored me, so I need to mentor you back. Just be like, hey man, you want to go grab some food? It's on me. I just want to let you know that I appreciate you and spend time with you. So tell them, give them a gift if you feel like that's what you need to do. Take them out for an experience or something. And our story here is, I did not know this book existed until I did research for this. I'd never heard this before. Philemon 1:7. It's very short. It could fit on one page if the font was right. It's like a couple paragraphs over. But I had no idea. And just some background on this book, Philemon. It's a plea for forgiveness for a runaway slave who actually made something of his life. The writer is Paul. Philemon is a leader in the Colossian church and a slave owner. And in the verse we're going to go over, Paul is giving thanks for Philemon and his impact. But anyway, so we're doing Philemon chapter 1, verse 7. Your love has given me great joy and encouragement because you, brother, have refreshed the hearts of the Lord's people. And that that's Paul, expressing thanksgiving expressing his thanks for Philemon, speaking of the impact he's had on the Lord's people, refreshing the hearts of the Lord's people through his great joy and encouragement. And that's an easy way if you feel like you didn't have the words to tell somebody, just say that. Just say it. It doesn't have to be anything long extravagant and eloquent. You can just say, hey, just speak from your heart. Just tell them, you've refreshed my heart. I appreciate it. Then we have pay it forward. Don't just stop at being a receiver of gifts or ran out of words again. I'm sorry, it's early. But don't just stop at being on the receiving end of Thanksgiving. Don't simply be like, hey, thank you for this. Be active in doing that for somebody else. If someone's invested time in you and mentored you, find someone who's even earlier on the journey to whatever. Mentor them. Be like, hey, I may not have it all figured out, but this is what I've done. This is what people have told me to do, and I've seen that it's working. Speak into somebody else's life. Maybe there's a needy family who's really on the struggle bus right now, and they need help with the utility bill. And if you have some extra, maybe the Lord's speaking to you to help them and just to help pay a bill help them through a tough season in life. There's no easy guide to this. A lot of it's just going to the Lord, be like, and just submitting to Him. Lord, how do you want to use me to fulfill your will? And saying yes to it. And for that, we have 2 Corinthians. Where are you at? Here we are. Hello. Oh, there we go. Sorry. 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verses 11 to 12, which read, "You will be enriched in every way so that you can be generous and on every occasion. And through us, your generosity will result in thanksgiving to God. This service that you perform is not only supplying the need of the Lord's people, but is also overflowing in many expressions of thanks to God." So he's talking about how being generous will result in thanksgiving to God. When you can do something that truly meets somebody's needs, they're going to cry out in thanks, man. They're going to be like, Lord, thank you so much. I really needed the assist on this. And I told you what I needed and you provided for me. And they're going to give that thanks to you as well, because you were the means by which God delivered that gift. And so just take a moment to go find somebody that you can impact their life. In any range, maybe it is just a conversation. They just need to talk through something. It can be as small as that. That's no small thing, but it can be as small in scale as that. Doesn't have to be something big, but just find something to impact somebody's life in a positive way. And lastly, take it to God. Whenever you're in prayer, not just on Thanksgiving, but just in general, give your thanks to God. So much, I know for myself, I'll say that. So much for myself, I've focused on bringing my needs to God. And it often feels just so transactional in that way. And, that's not prayer in its proper place. So it's a balance of yes, bringing our needs to God, because, it kind of strengthens the relationship, but also give thanks for what he has provided for you, and then submit to his will. The more we try to conform the world to our plans, the less room we're giving the Lord to work in our lives and in our world. And ask him, Lord, how do you want to use me to fulfill your will? Ask him for clarity on that. And then ask him to give you the strength to do it. Getting a little off track there. That's a preview for next week, or this Sunday rather, on intentional prayer. But anyway, make sure you take it to God. Just a quick recap here. We got find the wins, 3 good things that happened to you during the day. A quick little statement on how it impacted you and how you can bring about more good stuff. Find the people who are making a difference. I already had figured out who I'm going to reach out to today and talk to. My fiance, my mom, my brother, and my Aunt Carol. Take a moment to write down who you're going to talk to, and what you're going to say. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. You'd be like, hey, you did this for me. I appreciate you. Is there anything I can do to help? Anyway, so find the wins, find the people making a difference, show your thanks, pay it forward, and take it to God. And I'll just end with Psalm 107, verse 1, which simply says, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. Something so simple, but powerful. So today, on Thanksgiving, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love does endure forever. That's all I got for today. Like I mentioned, next week we're going to hit up on intentional prayer and kind of wrap up our little 3-part intentional series. But yeah, I appreciate you. I hope you have a wonderful day, whether you're staying at home by yourself or if you're going out. Have plans with family. If you're traveling, be safe. I do have another video about my thoughts on Thanksgiving today and kind of leaning into the history of it. If you want to watch it, it's also on this channel, and I'm going to put it on my other channels as well, but whatever. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful day. I appreciate you. I hope you have a good one. See ya.